Hello, I welcome you today to another video on the Pratyancha channel. My name is Neha, and today we are going to be discussing Holy Thursday by William Blake. This is a video which one of our viewers has requested in the comment box of one of the earlier videos, and that is why I bring to you this particular piece by William Blake. William Blake was a Londoner all his life. He was influenced by the French and American Revolution, and he was a poet, a painter, and a printmaker. And all these activities influenced each other and brought out the best in him. He's considered one of the seminal figures in literature and in the arts that England has produced. So today we are going to be talking about Holy Thursday. It is also called Ascension Thursday or Ascension Day, because it is the day on which Christians believe that Jesus Christ ascended to heaven in the presence of 11 of his apostles, and then he was granted a place on the right hand of God, and that is where he sat. So this is Ascension Day, when Christ is going to heaven. So in the celebration of this day, the orphans in the city of London, they are brought out and they march to the St. Paul's Cathedral in the center of London. So this is a particular piece written on this activity which is conducted on Holy Thursday or Ascension Thursday or Ascension Day. William Blake, as you can see, is 1757 to 1827. So you get an idea of his time period. Let's begin reading the poem. It was on a holy Thursday, their innocent faces clean, the children walking two and two in red and blue and green. So it was a holy Thursday, the children were all washed up and spruced up, their faces were clean, and they were walking in two and two. So it was a line which had two children in each place, and then they were walking in this file towards the St. Paul's Cathedral. And red, blue, and green, this is the color of the clothes that the children are wearing. Grey-headed beadles walked before with bands as white as snow. Now, beadles is basically... Beadles are people who are employed by a church or sometimes even a synagogue. They help in the affairs of the church. They are usherers. They sometimes lead people in a procession, and they also help in the clerical activities of the church. So these beadles were walking ahead. They were leading the children on, and they had a wand in their hand which was as white as snow. Till into the high dome of Paul's, they like Thames waters flow. So these children in the file that they were walking in the lines that they were walking in, they looked like as if the Thames River is flowing. So the analogy, the comparison with the Thames River basically represents that the children were flowing like a river flows. And on Ascension Day, like I said, that the children are marched up to the St. Paul's Cathedral. So that is why the author says that they were flowing like the river Thames towards the cathedral. Oh, what a multitude they seem, these flowers of London town. Seated in companies, they sit with radiance all their own. The hum of multitudes was there, but multitudes of lambs, thousands of little boys and girls, raising their innocent hands. A multitude, these were a lot of children, and they seemed like the flowers of London town in the wonderful dresses that they were wearing. They were seated in companies, they sit with radiance all their own. And they were with each other in this crowd of children, and each one was radiant in their own glory. Each one was a very glowing child, a glowing face that you saw among the crowd of other children. The hum of multitudes was there. You could feel that there were a lot of children. You could hear their hum. But multitudes of lambs, thousands of little boys and girls raising their innocent hands. Yes, there were too many, but then what you heard was as if these were lambs. So the word lamb is brought here to show that the children were very soft and very innocent and rather quiet, and it did not really sound like a roar or like a shout, but what the hum that you heard was that of the multitudes of lambs, and lamb also denotes the innocence of the children. Thousands of little boys and girls raising their innocent hands, and they were raising their innocent hands. Now, like a mighty wind, they raise to heaven the voice of song. Like a mighty wind, they raise to heaven the voice of song. When they start to sing, it feels like their voice is reaching heaven. Their voice is straight reaching the ears and the heart of God. This is how innocently they sing. And why the mighty wind? because when all the children sing together, it is really a very loud sound. It is a sound in which there is a lot of air involved because every child is adding his or her voice to the song. Now, a mighty wind they raise to heaven the voice of song, or like harmonious thunderings, the seats of heaven among. And the sound is so loud that you feel it's almost like a thunder because all the children are singing together, but it's a very harmonious thunder. And then comes the last bit of the poem, where the poet says that beneath them sit the aged men, wise guardians of the poor. These aged men who seem to be really wise, and they call themselves the guardians, the saviors, the protectors of the poor. These protectors of the poor actually do not have a voice that will reach heaven. Beneath them sit. The word beneath denotes that these men are not as pure as the children themselves, as innocent as the children themselves. Beneath them sit the aged men, wise guardians of the poor. Now, aged also denotes that they've lived a life of experience. They're no longer as innocent, as beautiful, as soft as lambs as the children are. So beneath them sit the aged men, wise guardians of the poor. Then cherish pity, lest you drive an angel from your door. You must cherish pity. You must realize that you have to take care of these children because they're orphans. And since they're orphans, if they come to ask something at your door, do not turn them away. So this is the day when these orphans are marched to the St. Paul Cathedral, and this is the day when people bless them with gifts, people bless them with all kinds of things, and the poet is urging that you must not turn an angel from your door. An angel, the child is being referred to as an angel, and that innocent lamb of a child, in multitudes these children are walking, and there are too many of them. You can hear their hum, and they sing very harmoniously, and their song is so loud, so beautiful, so melodious that it's straight reaching the heart of God. So this is the essence of Holy Thursday that the poet captures, that these orphans of London town are being marched to St. Paul's Cathedral. And in the end, he also urges you that you must grant them their wish, you must bless them with a gift, and you must not turn away an angel from your door. You must cherish pity. You must realize that you must think about them. You must really pay attention to the fact that they have not been as blessed as your children are, or as other children that you know in the vicinity are, and therefore you must really grant them your blessings. You must bless them with a gift. And this is what the poem Holy Thursday is about. So we just discussed Holy Thursday from Songs of Innocence. It is only right that we follow it up with Songs of Experience, the entry in Songs of Experience, which is also entitled Holy Thursday. Now, this is a song, this is a poem that you write when you've experienced life, when you know the truth of life. In the earlier work, when we were speaking of Songs of Innocence and then the Holy Thursday, the poet wanted to say that these orphans look like the flowers of London. They're so beautiful in their red and blue and green dresses, and they are being led by the usher from the church, and they're all marching towards St. Paul's, and everybody today is gonna bless them with gifts. And also it's a celebration of the day when Christ has ascended to heaven. And then he follows it up with Songs of Experience. Now, what does he think of this day when actually what has happened is that you have gotten to know what does it mean to be an orphan on that day, and what sort of a place is London if it has so many orphans. Is this event really beautiful? Is this event really to be celebrated? Let's read this next piece again, of course, by William Blake. Is this a holy thing to see in a rich and fruitful land, babes reduced to misery, fed with cold and usurious hand? Is this a nice thing to see, a holy thing to see, since the entire world celebrates the Ascension Day? All the Christians around the world celebrate this day of ascension of Jesus to heaven. Then is this a holy thing to see, that in a very rich country, in a very prosperous country, there are so many children who are orphans, who are reduced to misery, and they are fed with cold and usurious hand? Cold. The people who take care of them actually don't really care about them. They are their protectors. They are there to do a job, but they don't really care for the children. They are cold-hearted and usurious. They take advantage of the situation and of the children. So is this a holy thing to see? The poet is questioning. Is that trembling cry a song? Now, if you remember in the Songs of Innocence, what the poet said was they're singing so beautifully, so harmoniously, their voices are ascending to heaven and they're reaching straight the ears of God. And here he asks that all I hear is a trembling sound. These children really cannot sing beautifully. They cannot sing melodiously. They're timid. They are scared. And I am listening to a trembling cry. Can it be a song of joy? He follows it up with another question. Can it be a song of joy? I don't think these orphans are happy and so many children poor. Oh, it is a land of poverty. I don't think I'm living in a very prosperous and rich country, in a prosperous and rich city. This is a land of poverty if so many of its children are so poor. And their sun does never shine, and their fields are bleak and bare. He says the sun never shines in this particular city, and their fields are bleak and bare. I don't even think that any grain or any crop or any fruit or any vegetable grows here. Their fields are bleak and they are bare. The fields are gloomy. They are not blessed with sunshine, and they're bare. They produce no crops, and their ways are filled with thorns. And all the ways of the field are filled with thorns. It is eternal winter here. There is no spring, no summer. There is absolutely no season in which crops can flourish. It is just eternal winter. It is the season where everything is dry and it's dark. All the leaves are shed. There are no fruits or vegetables, no grains to be grown, and it's eternal winter here. I don't believe the city is flourishing. I don't believe the city is prosperous. For wherever the sun does shine and wherever the rain does fall, babe can never hunger there, nor poverty the mind appall. If the sun really shines at a place, if the rain really does fall, then no child should go hungry in a place like that. And poverty should not appall us, should not surprise us, should not fill us with disgust. This poverty is filling me up with disgust. It's appalling to see that so many children are so poor here. So I really feel that this land has no sun, no sunshine, and it absolutely has bare and bleak fields. Because if this were not the case, then so many children would not be hungry. So many children would not be poor. Now contrast this with what we read in the Songs of Innocence. There the poet was very happy. It's a lovely day. The children are looking so beautiful. They're singing a melodious song. Their voice is reaching the Almighty. And this is what you feel when you're innocent. And it is when you actually gain experience, you realize that there is a very bleak reality behind this wonderful, glorious facade where the children have been spruced clean for one day and brought to march all along to the St. Paul's Cathedral, and they're marching the streets of London. And they've been spruced up, and if they're brought out, then it should not bring us happiness. It should actually make us question, are we living in a prosperous city? Are we living in a city that we should be proud of? Are we living in a city where the sun shines and there are fields filled with crop and grain? Because if this were the case, no child would be poor. And if this were the case, no child would be hungry. So this is the song of experience. If you like this video, do not forget to hit the like button. Do not forget to share it with your friends. And do check out the other playlists on the Pratyancha channel. And do let me know if you wish me to discuss a piece here which already is not there on the channel. I'd love to hear from you in the comment box. My name is Neha. You were watching this video on the Pratyancha channel. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.